Welcome to this week's edition of the FA Show. I'm Nate Barrett. As more and more advisors head back to office environments, a cautionary tale from Minnesota as Edward Jones has fired a broker over a violation of COVID policies. As reported on AdvisorHub, Chad Klassen, a 13-year firm veteran, was sacked for failure to follow the firm's COVID policy and inadvertently infecting 3 assistants in his office. Klassen, who worked with 1,300 clients with $105 million in assets and generated $715,000 in annual revenue, said he had not been wearing a mask in the office and had failed to get tested at the first sign of symptoms for COVID. Wells Fargo CEO Charlie Scharf on Wednesday said that the bank, including its wealth management business, is set to go on the offensive now that the waves from the company's banking scandals have ebbed. We've been extremely distracted as a company, Scharf said at the Bernstein Annual Strategic Decisions Conference. Looking at everyone who works with customers day in and day out, they haven't really been on offense in any way, shape, or form. Scharf, who took over as CEO in October 2019, said the company will be edging its way toward focusing on growth rather than contending with past problems. Advisors curious about the shift are encouraged to sign up for the upcoming Top BDs in Conversation webinar featuring Wells Fargo Advisors Head of FA Integration and Growth, Kimberly Ta. A link can be found in the show notes.
You're a free agent. Are you acting like one? I'm Jeff Crosby, CEO of 3X Equity, with a reminder that you control the conversation when it comes to your career. If you're curious about switching firms, we help you secure multiple offers and find your best fit, all while you remain under the radar and 100% anonymous. Get started today at 3xequity.com/free agent.
Hi, it's Tony Sirianni, publisher of ADVISORHUB.com and ADVISORHUB magazine. This week, we're going to highlight my interview with Andy Schwartz, who's a partner at Bleakley Financial Group. We discussed several topics, including the new efficiencies of doing business virtually, teaching financial advisors how to create their own enterprise well, and the value of being part of a team, finding a firm that gives you alignment, capacity, and scale, etc. Here's a short clip. It's funny. Yeah, advisors are funny. It's a little bit like the cobbler's, kids who have no shoes. I mean, they know because you look at your client book, and you're a player, captain, coach, so you got clients, right, and the whole thing. So, but you look at your client book and you see real wealth has always been created by business owners, right? You inherit or you own a business. Absolutely. And then you sort of keep leveraging your business by selling it to the next firm, and then you got a little time versus staying and building something. I mean, inherently they must know that they're going to do better if they find a partnership where they can make real money.
It's a great point. What I always ask my prospective advisor is, I say, let me ask you a question. Your richest clients, the people that you deal with that have the most money, where did the money come from? And it's always the same. It's typically it's a sale. They created a business, it was very successful, and they sold it. I'm going to see a client tonight that sold a business for over $200 million, this year, 2 months ago. And so what I say to the advisors are, why do we have this mentality that we're just worker bees, that we just work and work and work? We make really good money, but we never think about the enterprise value that we're creating or the wealth that we could create for ourselves or our families. And so we really try to get them to think about that, because we think that that's really important.
Well, I mean, I guess I'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of those conversations. I think there are some people that are uncoachable. You know what I mean?
Right,
not gonna. Sure. I'm sure you've run into that before. Yeah. But how does it? How do those conversations typically go from an advisor point of view? What's the turn on the light moment? Where they, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? When they can start to see. And I would also keep in mind that a lot of us were screwed, right? Because we owned stock in some of these big companies prior to 2008. I can look at myself. I lost millions of dollars, right? And just evaporated overnight. So there's maybe a hesitancy because of that, although I think these smaller partnerships feel different than that. I don't know.
Yeah, and also when you think about our business and the way it transacts, it's EBITDA, right? So, there's a revenue flow. If an advisor has $2 or $3 million of revenue flow, and they have, half of that, say, in EBITDA, you start to put an 8, 10, 12, 15, times multiple on that. Nothing really can disappear as long as their business doesn't disappear, and we don't think that will ever happen. So it gives you a chance to bet on yourself but put yourself in an environment where you can leverage the value. And that's really what it's all about. You've got to find a place, whether it's at Bleakley or somewhere else, where you can leverage your business, you can increase your capacity, you can leverage your time, and then ultimately leverage the enterprise value. That's what everybody should be thinking about. Wherever that is, that's what they should be thinking about.
For the complete interview, as well as our entire library of Zoom interviews with industry leaders and influencers, visit AdvisorHub TV, which can be found on the homepage of AdvisorHub.com. Thanks, and look forward to seeing you next time.
We turn now to the recruiting wire powered by 3X Equity, the authority on advisor transitions. A 6-person team in Dallas, Texas with $5.4 million in revenue has exited Merrill Lynch to join Morgan Stanley. The group, led by 39-year industry veteran John Calandro III, also includes his brother Kevin Calandro and son Robert Chris Calandro. They were overseeing more than $700 million in customer assets with 92% in fee-based accounts. And in another big pickup, Morgan Stanley has recruited a UBS wealth management team generating about $3.7 million in annual revenue. The 5-person team, led by brokers Hugh J. Fisher, Ross E. Woodring, and Elmo Skip Zorns, left for Morgan Stanley on May 12th, according to their registration records. They had managed about $500 million in client assets at UBS, the source said. Fisher, a 28-year industry veteran who splits his time between Naples and Lafayette, had qualified for UBS's President's Council, its second highest production-based recognition club, 7 times, according to his former firm bio. He ranked 114th on Forbes' 2021 list of best-in-state wealth advisors in Florida, while Woodring, with 20 years in the business, ranked 23rd on the same list for Louisiana. For a complete list of moves, as well as access to the AdvisorHub offers tool to find out what your practice is worth, visit the Deals and Comp section of AdvisorHub.com. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the FA Show on AdvisorHub TV, powered by 3X Equity. I'm Nate Barrett. Have a great day.